Hey, what's up YouTube subscribers? I just wanted to put together a video, kind of show you guys where I've been over the past 14 years of racing. This is the kind of the history of where I'm at, and something new came up, and I'm trying to get back into doing ATV racing. So you've seen a lot of my videos where I've done some ATV racing and some UTV racing, so I just wanted to give you a little progression of how those years have unfolded. So, you know, currently right now, I picked up this 2018 Scrambler. Last year I started the season in 2023 on a UTV, and about mid-season I ended up switching over to the 4x4, and that was right around IXCR's which one? Whiskey River was my last race in the UTV before I sold it. So I'm a part of Team Okami XC Racing, which means Team Wolf. Okami is Japanese for wolf, so we're like a wolf pack of racers. So I've put some good modifications into this. We got custom axis shocks that we invested into at the end of last year. We put on some Raceline wheels, we put on Spider graphics, we put on a bunch of stabilizers for the frame, and the quad's been great. I definitely love doing the 4x4 class. But what I did find out is I tried to line up at Midwest XC Racing in the 40 plus A class, and they have a new rule that says that you can't run 4x4s in that class. They have to be in the 4x4 novice or 4x4 pro. I'm not exactly ready for pro status yet, so we have entered into the novice or just regular 4x4 class for the AM, and then I'm also racing full season IXCR in the Warrior Frontline class, and the Warrior Frontline class is for first responders, military, police, and you run the front row in the AM ATV. So that's where I'm currently going to be racing for this year. Is mostly IXCR, pick up some Midwest races, and I picked up a new machine. We'll show you that here in a minute, and then we're going to show you the transformation of what that's going to look like. But here, the history of my ATV racing. So this was my first place trophy in 2010 IXCR. Is the C class 28 to 35. I ended up winning in 2010, and then 2011 I went to the B class, because when you win in the C class you move up to the B class. So I went to B 24 plus, and I got second in the overall in the B 24 plus. That was a great time. Both of these trophies here I was running on a 2006 Honda 450R. Then in 2012, I ended up third place in the B30 plus overall for MAXC. And again, that was on a 2006 Honda 450R. And then wanted to do a little bit more, so I ended up picking up a Renegade 800 and entered the utility class in 2014, and ended up winning first in class for the utility class on the Renegade. And shortly after that, I did end up having a accident on the ATV. I dislocated my right shoulder, and I tried to come back in 2016. I picked up a Can-Am 450 DS. I actually had it shipped out of, you can see it kind of in that picture there. I had it shipped out of Arizona, and I got it put together for XC Racing. And you know, that it wasn't bad. I had some overheating issues and stuff, but I did take in 2016 in the Senior A, so I progressed all the way from C to B to the 40 plus A in 2016, and I got a second place overall for the MWXC in the 40 plus class. Shortly after the 2016 season, I decided I wanted to start running some GNCCs in the UTV races, and then they cut it out. But I did build this car. So this was 4th place in 2019. So I picked up a Can-Am, what is this? Can-Am Maverick XXC. I went to Ohio to pick this one up. I got it all ready to do some GNCC racing, and they cut them from their program. So I was left with they didn't allow turbos in the GNCC. So I was left with a naturally aspirated XXC race built car that I couldn't end up racing for nationals. So I ended up doing some locals, and I did get 4th place for the single driver and for the IXCR series. Then, because I wanted to get if I would have bought a UTV from the beginning, I would have got a turbo. So in 2020, I traded this in for a Polaris Turbo XP, and I picked that one up somewhere in Kentucky, I think. But I ended up winning the 7th place overall in the Heavy Pro Mod UTV. There was a lot of learning curve running with the Pro Turbo guys from 2019 to 2020. And after that season, I decided to switch over to the Polaris RS1, which I probably would have bought this at the beginning over here back in 2019? Yeah, 2019. I probably would have bought the RS1, because that's when the GNCC had switched to allow these to run around that time, 2018, but I didn't buy one. But I did for 2021, put together a nice race car and ended up 4th place in the single pro class for 2021. The reason I went from the 2-seater to the 1-seater was just I didn't really need a co-pilot. They were just there, and IXCR forced you to have a co-pilot at a time. Now you can run without one in a turbo car. But then in 2022, I ran the single pro again and ended up in 5th place for the season. So that was my progression. 2023 was kind of a wash because we only did half the season in the RS1, and then the other half was with the Scrambler here. This is the 2018 1000 Scrambler. Putting in a full program for this year for IXCR's Frontline. So we'll be running this the entire season. So that was my progression over the years. And here is what we picked up just recently. Again, I went to Kentucky to pick this up, but here we go. Got a 2009 TRX 450 ER. This bike was built by a Zach Schinkel, and he's got this thing. This apparently won 7th overall in the AM class. He's done a lot of good aftermarket parts. We're gonna take this completely down to the frame and rebuild it. We're gonna change the powder coat to a different color. I'm gonna take you guys along with this journey of getting this quad back in shape, back to race ready condition. So we'll change out the powder coat the frame, the colors, the graphics, the parts. Everything's gonna look like it's brand new. Get the shock serviced, but a lot of little goodies on this quad. And this takes me back to when I first started racing in 2010 with the Honda 450. So this will give me some options, you know, between racing with the 450, or I can go with the 4x4. But let's kind of look over all the stuff that's on here. So we have an RJR front high bumper. We got +1 long travel Textera Tech arms. Looks like we have some long travel suspension that was redone by Adams suspension, and I got a whole nother story for that one. Well, that'd be a whole nother video. And we got some flex bars put on here. We got a Hauser steering stem. Looks like it's a +1. We got an oversized tank on here. We have some Gold Speed bead locks in the front and in the rear. We have some Hauser Pro Nerf bars, and we have some chain guards, MZM rear chain guard, TMD Designs Works chain guide. Let's see, the LSR parking block, some things powder coated in here. Looks like a stock frame. Did have a 24-volt system on here at one point. I'm not sure what kind of grab bar that is. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing back to tip-top shape. I will do another video. We're gonna break this thing down completely to the frame and then start working on rebuilding it. So every screw will be turned and everything will be checked to make sure that it's ready to go. So stay tuned. Okay guys, we got the quad up onto the stand now, and I got the fluids drained out from it, the oil from the engine and the transmission. I got the coolant drained out of the radiator and the cooling system. I was able to get the axle nut loose before I got it up on the stand and apart. So I was wondering if I was going to have an issue with that. So I'm going to start breaking this down and getting it down to the frame, and we'll start the rebuilding process once we get this thing back from powder coat. So let's do a little time lapse and start taking stuff off this machine and getting it ready for our race season. All right, that's a wrap. We finally got down all the way down to the subframe and to the frame. I didn't take the skid plate off when I put it on the stand, and I can't get access to the steering stem nut until I take that plate off. So I'm gonna end the video here as far as the teardown, and then we'll start doing the rebuild when we get this back from powder coat. So I'm gonna get the subframe off, the frame, the handlebars off of the frame, and the skid plate, and that should do it. And then we're gonna get this off to powder coat. So stay tuned, watch the build, see where we're at, putting this thing back together, and see how everything comes together and into one beautiful, perfect machine. All right guys, we'll see you later.